This video is about finding inverse function by inverse operation. Think about this. We change apple into pear through f of x. Then if you change pear back to apple, this will be the inverse function. You could say for f of x, apple is domain and a pear is a range. But for inverse f of x, pear is a domain and apple is a range. Domain of f of x will be the range of inverse f of x. Range of f of x will be the domain of inverse of f of x. We could say inverse function is an undo process. We will use this undo process to figure out inverse function in this video. Part 1. Guess the inverse function of the following functions. Number 1, f of x equals 3x plus 7. Operation from x to y. First step, x times 3. Then you add 7. The inverse operation will be backward. X minus 7 and then divided by 3. So inverse f of x will be x minus 7 over 3. For number 2, f of x equals x to the third power plus 5. Operation from x to y, x cubed, then add 5. Inverse operation, backward. Add 5, we will do x minus 5. Cubed, we will do cubic root, then cubic root. So inverse of f of x will be x minus 5, then cubic root. For number 3, f of x equals the square root x plus 1. Operation from x to y, x add 1, then square root. Inverse, the backward. Inverse square root will be square. So square x, then minus 1. Inverse f of x equals x squared, then minus 1. Domain of f of x equals the square root of x plus 1 is, we know for square root of x, domain is radicand x greater than or equal to 0. The range will be square root of x itself greater than or equal to 0. So for this square root x plus 1, for the domain, we will set up x plus 1 radicand greater than or equal to 0, x greater than or equal to -1. For the range, we will set up a square root x plus 1 greater than or equal to 0. So we can write down range is y greater than or equal to 0. Here, domain of f of x equals square root of x plus 1 is x greater than or equal to -1. Range will be y greater than or equal to 0. For the domain and range of inverse function, just switch. This go to domain x greater than or equal to 0. This go to range of inverse function y greater than or equal to -1.